Make no mistake about it. What occurred in Vieux-Fort South in the past few days is unprecedented. This is not the first time that murders have been committed in the name of gang warfare, rivalry, and retribution. But this experience is different. What is different is the calculated murder of parents of persons who are alleged to be members of gangs in the community. These murders have been committed in the name of revenge. In the past few days, of the persons who have been slain, 6 of them were parents of individuals who are alleged to be members of gangs or associated with gangs. Never before has this happened on such a scale. It exposes a level of callousness and barbarity never experienced before in Vieux-Fort, and I dare say in St. Lucia as a whole. We have read about such murders occurring in neighboring countries, but somehow never thought that it would happen here in our own island. What occurred is incomprehensible, beyond the realm of rationality and sanity. Parents who reside in one part of Vieux-Fort have become victims simply because they have children alleged to be gang members residing in another part of the town. These murders will leave anguish, incalculable pain, and deep wounds in the community. The question now is this: how do we heal our community after this experience? As a first step, possibly after the funerals have been held, I plan to meet with the families of all the victims. Quite often, we forget them, their pain and anguish. I will need the support of the churches, civil society groups, and anyone trained in counseling to deal with the issues of the type confronting my constituents. This experience may well be a watershed. I suspect many more will understand the need to dismantle the gangs and disarm the individuals who carry guns. Those who protect the gunmen, hide their weapons, give an alibi when they need it, will hopefully understand the dangers, the harm, the pain, and the injury that they too cause. They too need to realize that they are part of the chain of criminality that exists. In other words, I am hoping that what has happened will unleash a torrent of revulsion and rejection of crime as a way of life. It cannot be acceptable that the commercial life of the town is brought to a standstill as a result of the acts of gunmen in the community, whether individually or collectively. It is perfectly understandable that business places need to protect their staff and customers. But when this happens, we unintentionally empower the gunmen in our midst. All suffer as a result, whether intended or otherwise. No community in St. Lucia must ever be held to ransom again by criminals as Vieux-Fort South has experienced in this past week. To my mind, the events signal the need to rethink the strategy of crime reduction and containment in Vieux-Fort. The issue of the pervasive and deep distrust of the police must be squarely faced, addressed, and resolved. I am even more convinced that the government will have to widen the powers of the police to respond to such events. The traditional powers of the police are too limited in scope with crimes of such magnitude. I thank the police for they too are putting their lives at risk. They are on the front line, facing sophisticated firepower and weaponry. They too have families and children to worry about. The past few days have been difficult and traumatic. My constituents are in disbelief, in pain, and in sorrow. I thank all who called and sent messages to console me and to support my constituents. Of course, not everyone was similarly minded. I read the sanctimonious and pious comments, especially of those who thought it was a perfect opportunity to heap scorn and criticism at the government and parliamentary representative. I saw too the memes about Vieux-Fort, calling for boycotts and relegation. This is sad. In the midst of all of this, they forgot that the victims were not just those who were murdered, but also the families of the victims and the people of Vieux-Fort South. It is right to condemn the killings in Vieux-Fort South in vehement or even strident language. But it cannot be right to besmirch the town and its residents. I will not accept the denigration of my constituency. Let us not forget that what occurred in Vieux-Fort has happened before elsewhere in St. Lucia, maybe not to the extent that we experience, but it is a reality. Let us stop pretending that Vieux-Fort is unique. But it can happen again with even more damning consequences. Like we say in Creole, le bab kamawadu puidife wuze sao. While Vieux-Fort South will confront its reality, shameful and painful as it may be, I have no doubt that we will emerge stronger and better. We have faced adversity and discrimination before, and we have survived. We will, I know, tap again the deep reserves of our courage and resilience to rise again. We will rise again stronger, unified, and better.